just as like a little background, right? So like students, I was teaching 8th grade, and students were being physically and verbally abused by SROs, school resource officers, that were placed on campus. And so they knew to come to me, because they knew to let me know, they wanted to damn near burn the school down. And so, I put them on some game. I had them, do some research on youth movements and figure out what's worked and how to really kind of tailor their response in a really kind of targeted way. And, because I'm an artist and I have some artist juice in the community, they hit me up and they said, we've realized that the only way in which a lot of this pendulum has shifted, was through media attention, right? And so they said, we know you got some folks, so let them know, bring them down. We got this rally going on. We're gonna do this, right? And so the media came, it went viral. SROs were removed from the campus. The principal was removed from the campus. But in that, I also lost my job. Right? They put me on administrative leave for the remainder of the year and told the kids that I had a hurt back. Thankfully, the kids were in my DMs and I was setting them straight and letting them know, like, I'm good,
Mhm.
right? But it's violent the way that the institutions come for folks like us. And so it does concern me, right? And it does concern me in the sense of, like, the reason why I'm doing this work, specifically as an educator, was to work in public schools, like the charter school, the private school, all of those other institutions. I didn't feel like they were band-aids in a situation, and they weren't accessible to all. And that's really what I was going for. And so it is really a challenge. And I would say it's like you were saying, it's like institution by institution. Some folks do it well ish, and then some folks are just like almost like whitewashing, diluting the cause and the conversations. And then that does so much harm to folks that are new to the conversation and are getting this information that's been contorted to still fit within the system, as opposed to, develop some resistant capital against the system. It's a
Yeah.
struggle.
And I think like for people who are working in schools who are listening, whether you're a staff member or a school leader, like know that like this is not about you and your practice, right? This is about like because like if you're listening to this, you're somebody who is sympathetic to like these values and these ways of being in some way, shape, or form, right? But you are working not only within XYZ school district or XYZ charter network or XYZ school with a board that doesn't see the world this way, right? We're all working under capitalism. And I think about the way that like resources are allocated for education under capitalism. And like the reason that education is the way it is because like we're trying to produce factory workers and take care of people's kids while they're working in the factories, right? And so like it is not just about like your individual practice. Yes, I want you to go take our courses. I want you to join our community and like get your skills up, right? I want you to share this work with your colleagues, your coworkers, your parents, like all the ways, like amplify, quote unquote, restorative justice. And these ways of being these practices, like practice on an individual level, are helpful, but they're not transforming the conditions that we're working under. That doesn't mean we shouldn't do it, right? But like we've got to be aware of what we're up against when trying to bring these circle ways into boxes.
Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like that's the messaging a lot of the time, is like, calibrate the expectations, right? Calibrate your intentions and ensure that you're doing this in. And again, what I always go back to is striving for that interpersonal development, because that's the thing ultimately that we know we can have the greatest impact on. A lot of these other kind of institutional behemoths are these things that, a classroom teacher doesn't have, a stake in, right? It doesn't have that access to influence that power in that way. And so I do think it's important to kind of calibrate what our goals are, what our intentions are in this work. Because yeah, if your goal is I was a young, go-getter when I first started. I'm gonna fix the system from within. Nah, bro, that you not. But you can create some really beautiful communities and have some really beautiful moments of dialogue, right, and reciprocity. And I think that's the thing that if we're striving for that, then that's actually attainable.